Welcome back, everybody.
Welcome back. So you're talking about small business loans, like when weren't recording.
Yeah.
My one buddy keeps trying to tell me, I don't know, he gets into some weird loophole things that, well, I can't even say loophole. He thinks he finds loopholes in things, and then it turns out that usually he's just wrong about the way he interprets or understands
This
something.
man has declared bankruptcy 10 times at least.
Well, occasionally he's been right about things, but he's also one of those people who gets really sucked into, like, conspiracy theories, or all of a sudden, like, his whole diet now is all about the macronutrients and all this special metabolizing enzymes that he gets from this special doctor who's not legally allowed to prescribe them through her doctor's license. But, it's like crazy shit like that.
Okay.
But he keeps telling me about this SUV loan that you can get, specifically if you have a business that you have registered. And he just keeps talking about, it's this loan that you can get to purchase an SUV for free for business purposes, that you can either have them pay off your entire SUV over a 1-year period or a 5-year period, and they'll just pay it out flat. And I keep telling him,
right?
Well, I keep telling him I don't think it exists. And he keeps insisting that it does. And I've never heard of something before, and I'd love to know, like, if it turns out it's true, because he's never ever, sent me any official documentation or anything like that to show, like, where it's at or anything. But I for one, I never understood the concept of they will pay off your SUV in either 1 year or 5 years. And I was like, why would you ever have them pay it off in a longer period of time? Wouldn't you just have them blanket give you all that money, like, right away? And he's like, oh no, there's all this valuable reasons you'd want it to be stretched over 5 years, and he couldn't quite explain it. I don't know, maybe it comes back as income. Let's pretend this thing does work, and maybe you don't want all that income coming in on you on 1 year. Maybe that could be why. I could somewhat get that. But have you ever heard of anything like this?
No, I just Googled it while you were talking to it. Couldn't find any results either.
On an SUV business loan?
Type SUV business loan. And there's a lot of articles about, can my small business receive a car loan and that sort of thing. Like, I want to get a car loan and I will have as a small business. Can I do that? And I think that's probably people trying to limit their liability. If they can't pay off their car loan, that's not affecting their credits, their business. But yeah, none of the things I just Googled just in that the quick time you were talking there suggested any government free SUVs anywhere.
Well, he's actually texting me right now about something else, which is kind of what reminded me of it is business talk. So I just texted him and I was just like, hey, what's that SUV business thing called that you were telling me about? So let's see if he can tell us as we're doing this. But yeah, it's just, I do know that there's a lot of different opportunities that do exist for small businesses.
Right. There's a tons of grants and stuff that exist for renters and homeowners and stuff that people don't realize too. Like, for a long time in North Carolina, they were doing these grants for solar panels for small businesses. Yeah. And I was super into that. And then Trump got elected and they fucking gutted that whole program.
Well, it's like the whole electric vehicle thing that they've really taken away all the. It was originally for the first X number of vehicles from each manufacturer got some incentive-based payment. Tesla's was gone. It was 250,000 vehicles. The first ones from each manufacturer got, that $8,000 tax write-off or whatever. Most of them are done now with their base, but there was a huge speculation that they were going to extend that because it was so popular. And then Trump went into office and was like, nope. He was even talking about him cutting it from the few companies that were left.
Wow.
So we actually bought an EV vehicle recently, a Chrysler, and Chrysler hadn't had a good EV before, so they're under their cap right now. Oh. And we're still wondering, even though we bought it during the thing, Trump could at any time change it because we bought it this year, so we don't get to file it until next year's taxes. Since we bought it in February. So we're still curious on if that actually is going to be holding up by the time we get to file, because a lot of those incentives are going away.
Someone in my Discord today said, and I have not researched this, so I do not know if it is true. I'm just going to assume it's fake news, honestly, until I have read to verify this.
That Trump already got reelected. The election was held and it's over.
He has
heavy SUV tax credit. It's a deduction, not a credit.
Heavy SUV tax credit. Heavy SUV tax deduction.
Heavy SUV tax credit. Wait, hold on. Heavy SUV tax credit. Deduction. Heavy SUV tax deduction. Yeah, he was trying to correct and say deduction, not credit. So heavy SUV tax deduction, I guess.
All right, this is the first thing that comes up on Google. I haven't even read it yet. I'm just going to read it live. If the vehicle is classified as an SUV under the tax rules, the Section 179 deduction is limited to $25,000. Heavy non-SUVs, such as long bed pickups and vans, are unaffected by the $25,000 limit. For those vehicles, you can often write off the entire business use portion of the cost in the first year.
It sounds like there's a little bit of credibility to what he's saying. I'm not sure it works the exact way he's saying
Yeah, it
but
sounds like. Well, let me look at this. There's a whole website, section179.org.
what do you call this vehicle? I'd call it Section 179.
Apparently, it's often referred to as the Hummer loophole. Okay. Well, the most popular use of the Section 179 deduction has been for vehicles. In fact, several years ago, the Section 179 deduction was sometimes referred to as the Hummer tax loophole because at the time it allowed businesses to buy large SUVs and write them off. While this particular use or abuse of the tax code has been modified with the limits explained below, it is still true that Section 179 can be advantageous in buying vehicles for your business. Vehicles used for your business qualify for certain passenger vehicles have a total deduction limitation of $11,160, while other vehicles that by their nature are not likely to be used more than minimal amount of a personal purpose qualify for a full Section 179 deduction. Okay. Many work vehicles that by their nature are not likely to be used for personal purposes, such as vehicles that can seat 9+ passengers, vehicles with one fully enclosed driver's compartment, no seating at all behind the driver's seat, and no body section protruding more than 30 inches ahead of the leading edge of the windshield. Heavy construction equipment, such as forklifts or the similar, and typical over-the-road tractor trailers are the things that qualify. But the tax deduction has to be all done in 1 year of purchase. And for most things, it's limited to $11,600.
Okay, so it's not the full thing.
Right. But this is any vehicle. This is not even an SUV. Any vehicle bought by your business for business purposes you can deduct up to $11,160 is what it says. If the vehicle fits any of those other things that I just said, which basically means a vehicle you wouldn't typically use for personal use, you can deduct everything that you put in the first year.
Huh. I wonder why he calls it the heavy SUV.
Probably the reason why it's referred to that way is because of the limitations where it's trying to limit it to heavy equipment, basically, like forklifts and 18-wheelers.
Yeah, it's technically for anything, though.
Yeah, any work vehicle, which I know this, like my Beetle, I got some tax deductions because I used it for business. I remember whenever I was filing my taxes last year, or year before last, 2017. I remember there were tax deductions for my vehicle, my insurance, all that stuff. Like basically everything. Since I'm a small business owner, part of my power bill, everything is deductible. Like there's tons of deductions you can use. It's not just.
Yeah, I'm just wondering how I need to take advantage of this stuff because
Well, you're not a small business. That's the first thing you'd have to do is.
We are. We have our rental property.
Oh, did you form an LLC for that?
No, but we have a business license and we were part of the SBA. Julia got we have a tax identification number.
Well, then you're something.
We're something. I've never taken advantage of any of this stuff before.
Well, I mean, you're something with a name. You're like an LLC or an S corp or an A corp or something.
Yeah. We have a name. It's just not an LLC.
Okay.
How are you burning down here? That doesn't make any sense.
Well, then I mean, yeah. Who's doing your taxes?
Some guy who's really shitty at it, apparently. We keep letting him
I
do
don't
it.
know if I'm my person. Just I've gone through so many CPAs over the years.
It's some guy that's been doing it. It's funny because I was really pissed off last year because we owed like $5,000, and it didn't make any sense to me in why we owed $5,000. And this year I was freaking out that we are going to owe money, and now it looks like we're going to get back like $2,000. And I'm like, nothing's changed with us. And like what the fuck? Like, this doesn't make any sense.
Well, I mean, a bunch of tax laws changed. Like, fuck my property tax.
You have another child, so that actually probably covers part of that right there because
Yeah,
it's
it does.
a child tax credit. But that still doesn't show. That's essentially a $8,000 swing. 3,000 of that could be from the child, right? But where's the other $5,000?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, a lot of tax laws have changed. I had to pay significantly higher property tax on my rental.
Well,
properties.
and that's the thing is we thought we were going to get really screwed this year because the tax laws had changed. And Julia and I happened to fall into one of those brackets that our taxes increased. Yes, how did we get money back this year? How are we slated to get money back this year when we owed $5,000 last year?
Yeah, it's really weird. Yeah.
Yeah, it was very strange.
Oh, in the last episode we were talking about businesses doing things because of Corona and stuff like that. So I was supposed to be going on a cruise this week. Should be sailing the seas right now. In fact.
Oh, you're here. What do you think of this?
I don't like it up above.
Okay, that's what I was trying to get more of it because that small little corner, it wasn't enough for me to tell. Oh yeah, I don't like it either. It's way too white.
Yeah, if if there was a clear glass, it'd be fine. But I don't.
Do you think a colored glass?
It might be better.
I'm trying to think of what kind of light colored glass would make it like maybe blend a little bit. I think red. Is there a pink color? I don't remember what color glass.
There's a pink.
Because the pink might show the flames through it still without being like overpowering.
Maybe.
I'm afraid anything else would just kind of cover up the flame and you couldn't really tell what's going on down there.
Yeah, you could try.
But yeah, God, that's too white. That's the corners are so pronounced. You're like right where they overlap. It's so pronounced.
Yeah. They need to make a glass that doesn't have a damn border.
Yeah, because I like the concept of the fire underneath it.
Yeah.
I don't like the way it looks with the glass at all.
I mean, do we have to have the glass?
If you don't, it's gonna burn up the whole edges again.
Really?
Because remember, I got fire back in those spots where I took the fire away, like burned up this whole thing, but it's covered, so it's not like jumping.
Huh. Okay. I didn't know that. Okay.
So we need something.
Yeah.
And if we ever want to walk around down there, I was trying to make flat
true.
surface.
Right.
Somebody suggested lava in the comments, which I kind of like. I just don't really feel like getting that much lava.
Yeah, this was a way to like a tank and stuff like that. Like I guess we could make
Yeah,
a bunch of buckets.
Yeah. But hold on. Let me not go to the nether and then show you guys my inventory so your eyes can bleed. But you don't remember that comment, but anyway.
No, I was like, what? I'm so confused.
Remember that guy kept commenting that why don't we go to the nether for lava and clean up your inventory, Jeff? My eyes are gonna bleed.
Oh.
So I called it out in those couple episodes,
Yeah,
and now I get the comments on every video from somebody.
My inventory's been completely empty for a while now. Mainly because I don't have anything I want to do. I'm so out of desire to do anything. Maybe I should go caving or something. What I was gonna say was, so I finally called to cancel my daughter's flight since we recorded last.
Did you leave her flight on and not yours?
So my flight was booked by Extra Life, and so they canceled my flight. Whenever Extra Life United got canceled. What?
For the cruise?
I was going to be in Extra Life United, and so my daughter was flying alone down to Orlando, and then we were driving from Orlando to Miami.
I got you. It makes sense now.
So she had her own flight by herself. And luckily, see, I don't have any kind of status with Delta anymore because I don't fly that much anymore. So every time I'd go to call to deal with this, so here's what happened. Extra Life booked my flight, and then they canceled it. But in the time between them booking it and it being canceled, I had upgraded to first. And whenever they canceled it, I didn't get a refund of that, my Sky Miles that I used. And so Matt had done the same thing, Sevenus. And so I asked him, I was like, well, what did you do? And he's like, well, I just called and they refunded right away or whatever. But he's platinum, so he's
still at status. Okay.
right. Whenever I would call to try to do anything, they'd be like, the current wait time is 14 hours.
See, it's so funny. You used to talk about that with Delta all the time, and how when you did have status, how you had that special line that you could call to get through.
Yeah.
I've never I don't fly Delta normally. I would fly like some budget airline like Southwest, and you have to call them for almost everything. Like when you want to add a child, like a lap child, you have to do it over the phone. But I swear to God, it's like a 5-minute hold every time.
Really?
They're always there. So I never understood these people with who
I
the
feel
fuck
like
is sitting there calling these agents that's causing them a 14-hour wait.
I mean, to be fair, normally it's like 30 minutes or something. Or, I guess like the other time that I had a problem where I had a long wait, and I don't think I had a status, was there was like tons of flights. Atlanta was basically shut down because of tornadoes. And so Atlanta's the #1 Delta hub. So it's just like, everyone that flies Delta is currently fucked. So is the phone lines, basically.
Everyone is currently fucked.
So, and I think this is a similar situation where every airline, probably anyone you flew with, if you tried to call them, you would have had a long wait. But
what is the pink dye recipe? I would think it would be red and white.
Yeah.
It's not working.
Well, you have to make them into dyes first.
Wait, I have red dye and bone meal. Is there a different white than bone meal?
There might be. Because remember they made it where you have to turn lapis into dye? Try turning the bone meal into dye.
Let's see.
Just put it in itself. Is there a white dye now?
Yeah, you're right. There is a white dye now. Oh yeah, there we go. Okay.
So whenever I had booked my daughter's flight, I got another number specifically for unattended child customer service. And he was like, then this is before Corona was a big deal. And he's like, but if you need to call or anything, that's the number to call, because like there won't be any wait and all this. And so when I went to cancel her flight this last week, I called that number, and sure enough, there was literally 0 wait. And so Delta right now, oh hey, we got an angry man here.
Hey, what's up, angry man?
He's mad. He's talking shit. Don't they hurt a lot? Aren't they real dangerous?
Well, I hit him in the face now.
Okay, they're not that dangerous.
I mean, I just use a shield. There's another guy with a crossbow here.
I think you need to drink milk now, though. Don't you have like a debuff for the?
Oh, you're right. I do have a debuff thingy.
So, anyways, they canceled their flight and everything, and I didn't book travel protection. So I just thought
I never bought protection.
I don't just go in raw. So I just assumed, what's this fancy?
I went to right click on the milk and I accidentally scrolled over to the redstone or the nether rack, and it just went dun, 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 just thrown it on the ground.
So they did refund the 150 unaccompanied minor fee, and she has a credit on her account that's good for 2 years now. For a flight of the same price, basically, or part of a
bullshit
flight.
That they leave those things as only good for.
Well, that's the thing. The normal credit's only good for a year. So I was kind of impressed that.
Which is, I think that should be good forever.
Well,
that's my opinion.
Yeah, you might be right. I mean, the fact that they've changed Sky Miles to never expire is pretty impressive to me. Like she's got a bank of Sky Miles because she's had a Sky Miles account since she was born, basically. So that someday she'll grow up and be an adult and be like, damn, Dad, I got 100,000 Sky Miles. Is
100,000 a lot for Delta?
I mean, you get 3 flights out of it.
I've gone through hundreds of thousands for Southwest because I keep getting their credit cards and getting that bonus and getting companion pass, and God, I'm on the way to flying free again for the 2 years. So got like 140,000 points, and I'm about to get companion pass again.
God, I was reading. So this month or last month, April. Wait, are we in April now? Yeah, we're March 2018. No, wait, March 2019. March 2019, $2.2 million of air travel went through TSA. March 2020, $95,000 worth of air travel went through TSA.
Wow. Yeah. 95,000 compared to 2-some million?
Yeah. Pretty wild, huh?
That is an insane statistic.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't imagine. Like TSA's got to be bored right now, right?
I mean, one would think.
um, and I'm sure that April's not going to be any better. Do you think that we should be bailing out the airline industry?
Airline industry, I'm more okay with because so here's the deal: there are a lot of American companies that you want to keep around. You don't want the airlines to start merging again, and all of a sudden, like you are down to like basically a monopoly on air travel. So I'm kind of okay with seeing a help in a bailout of the airline industry. I absolutely do not want to see a bailout of the cruise industry that don't fly under the American flag.
I think it's silly to bail out an industry that is only exists. It's not like people are taking cruise to make necessary travel. Like it's silly to bail out an industry that is an entertainment only industry.
It's not even enough for me to tell if this is going to look.
No,
better.
it looks better. I think already, just because like the
Okay.
corners are more muted. But
I
it is
need
going to
to
be
go- I need
very
to go get
pink.
more.
So
Yeah, I wonder if it. You think orange would look okay?
orange might be better.
Orange might be better. Yeah, I don't think the pink's
well,
gonna. I think the color looks better. I don't think pink's necessarily the right one.
right. Yeah, I agree with this. What do you think about the whole postal service, though?
So that I find very strange that he is so against bailing them out, and they're still running. Well, I guess the airlines are still running too. I mean, so I can't really say that they're just running much limited routes. I'm surprised that the postal service is running as less as they are, but I guess when so many businesses are shut down, that deal with that. I don't know. I think it's very strange that you're not going to bail the U.S. Postal Service out because you're almost like taking it as if they did something against Trump. Is how it seems to be taken.
Well, I kind of think maybe that's the actual conspiracy theory. Me thinks that might play a role.
But what do they do? I don't get because the
People
other
want
part
mail-in
wants
ballots.
to say that maybe the U.S. Postal Service is an unnecessary government commodity now and should be just privatized, and you move on over to not having it be a giant government agency, but be like the FedExes, the UPSs, etc., as opposed to a government entity.
Well, I think the thing that they did against Trump, to answer that question, was people started talking about mail-in ballots, and he said, "There's no way. Oh, everything's burning, Jeff."
God damn it! I did leave one hole, not thinking.
That's not even where it's burning at, though.
Where's it burning at?
Um,
Did you light it on fire?
I did not.
Are you holding a lighter in your hands?
No. What do I do?
Watch it burn.
I don't have any blocks or anything. I took all the blocks out of here.
I'm coming. How bad's it burning?
I mean, it's fire. It spreads fast.
It's got to have come to die to just leave a hole because I had it in.
I don't
Is
see
it that
a hole
right
over here.
side?
It's over here.
Is it that right one that started? Okay, that one did kind of start earlier, and I thought I had taken care of it. I don't know. I mean, it's basically gone. That.
Yeah, but it's gonna get up here to the top and go all the way around, isn't it?
Yes. Can you take out the top?
I can't because I don't have any blocks. That's why I'm panicking over
any
here.
blocks?
No blocks. I have an inventory that's empty.
Oh God!
You glitchy as hell.
Ow.
You're crazy, man. Calm
I
down. What are you doing? What are you doing, Jeff? Oh my God! Like a moth in a flame.
I just couldn't hear it. Use those blocks. And you go up one side, I'll go up the other.
What do you mean up one side and up the other?
We gotta get over to this and stop it anyway. Oh, that stopped itself. Stop. Here, I'll keep the fire at bay down here. You go to the top and you take out the upper parts. Just watch the lava doesn't come flying out at you. And then if the rest of it burns down, which it seems like it's going to, at least we'll only lose this one column. Where's my axe? Yeah, this one spot did, this one column, I did have something set up in a slightly different way, and I thought I had it fixed and under control, but I was wrong. That should be good at this point.
Okay. But no, I feel like once everyone started talking about changing the 2020 election to have every state require mail-in ballots because of coronavirus, and Trump,
I thought you said melon ballots at
yeah,
first. Like the old melon ballots.
watermelon crawl. Uh, and Trump like freaked out. He even accidentally publicly said, "No, if we do that, Republicans will lose everywhere." And then said that,
and he's right.
well, yeah. No, if everyone gets to vote, then the Republicans lose. That's just how it works. So, God, I hope. Oh no, I did not succeed.
What?
I broke all the stuff, and I thought that meant I was okay. And then the damn roof is on fire.
The whole roof. Oh, you got it. Yeah, keep it down.
Okay, it stopped. It stopped. We're good. Are we good? Is it gonna stop?
I would get those. I would kill those pieces that are right there because clearly it's jumping a lot higher than it seems like it should. Or is it just the way that the lava jump? Like that's weird. That's a lot of spread.
So conspiracy theory me thinks that he hates the postal service now because they would be the ones carrying the ballots that would end his election.
But it's like, yeah, I was gonna say that's the weirdest thing because it's not really them. Don't bail them out. Do you all of a sudden think that you're not gonna have mail-out ballots now?
Well, that's
Like,
the thing. What does happen
crumble
then?
and
What about
fold?
all the states that already do mail-in ballots? Mail-in ballots. What would they do?
You have to, I guess that does make it hard because if you have something that is privatized, then there's always a risk for fraud in that privatization, right?
Right.
But I guess that's the case with any electronic ballot company as well, right?
Well, that's why we
Those
don't
are
have full
private-
electronic, right?
But those are privatized companies that are supposed to be out there, like with a.
Oh yeah, no. Oh my
God,
God, Jeff! It's the
It's
the lava, I
Should we
think.
take the lava out? Do I have a? I'm gonna go get a bucket and just pull that lava out of there, so we can fix it.
okay. It didn't spread at least.
Yeah, I guess we should have known it was the lava once it started opening up. Because remember, we have to keep the whole thing covered, or it does.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what happens though if he doesn't bail out the. And do they need a bailout now, or are they going to go?
Yeah.
How does a federal agency just go under? Like, because they don't just declare bankruptcy in the same way, do they?
I don't have any idea. I am not qualified to talk about this, to be honest.
Because how interesting would it be if someplace like the U.S. Treasury was just like, we're bankrupt?
Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah, I mean, I know they said that basically they're out of money, but I don't know what the next step is. So, I mean, today he announced that he's withholding money from the World Health Organization.
I did see that, and that's really fucked up.
Well, not only is it fucked up,
no,
he literally legally cannot do it. It's the same fucking thing he was impeached for. Not, I mean, to some degree. Like, that's money.
How'd that impeachment work out for him?
Sure. I mean, he was impeached, but he wasn't removed from office. But, I mean, that's money that Congress has decided where it's going. He doesn't get to decide after that. Like,
yeah, I don't know what's happened in the last week, but he's clearly lost his mind, and I think Barr has lost his mind with him.
Barr, I don't think has had his mind. I mean, I don't think either one of them had their mind. One of them is conniving fucking mastermind, and the other one's just a crazy person. You can figure out who's who. I think you know Trump. So remember Trump's arbitrary date of Easter, right? You remember he kept saying that all last month was Easter, and this was Easter weekend, and the country did not reopen. I mean, he keeps saying he's going to fire the man that's been in charge of every pandemic planning since I was a kid.
Yeah, I mean, he was having that like trending on Twitter about firing him, which is crazy. But now he's like backlashing at the WHO, saying it's there because everybody's coming after Trump, saying like you didn't do enough and your administration didn't do enough to stop this where it should have been stopped. And he's like turning around and trying to pin the blame on the WHO.
He's trying to blame the blame on everybody. You saw the whole propaganda video. He showed all the journalists.
I heard about it. I didn't see it.
Oh my god, it is. I don't watch the briefings because I don't think I can and live and handle myself.
Especially the one that happened yesterday.
So I watched clips of that. I don't think I've been that mad. Like I was shaking. I was so fucking mad.
So that's remember when I jumped into your Discord chat?
Yeah.
That was the one that made me so mad that I haven't watched one since. That one would have probably set me over the edge.
Like whenever he started saying that he can do whatever he wants, he's the total authority, and like talking like after he shows his propaganda video, one of the news ladies asks, I can't remember her name. I wish I could because I want to give her all the credit she deserves. She's like, okay, so in the video we see what happens in January, and he's like, yeah, and that bought us time. And she's like, okay, but there wasn't anything in the video from February. What did you do with the time you bought? And he's like, you know what? You're fake. You're fake. You're absolutely fake. Like that's, I want to fucking just strangle the man.
And you know what's funny? Somebody else approves this stuff. Granted, he doesn't need approval, but other people know this is happening. It's not that he goes out there and just pulls a 180 on what everybody thinks he's going to do. Somebody in his cabinet's like, yeah, do that. Show that video. Yeah. Talk about that.
Well, I mean, yeah, but they're not stopping him. I mean, they're not the ones telling him to say the stupid shit he does to the reporters.
I mean, maybe they are. I bet you Kushner's behind the scenes going, yeah, you get him. Yeah, you tell him.
I feel like Kushner's got some sense. He has to. I mean, I feel like everyone's got more fucking sense than Trump. I don't know.
I did get really, and it's so bad because I forget because my small circle is, people like you and my wife who are, very passionate, obviously not Trump fans,
Right.
myself as well. And I caught somebody on Facebook this morning, and after his big blow up thing that I didn't get to watch, I just got to hear all about. And it was this person that I had so respected before. And I don't want to say I lost respect for somebody because of their political beliefs, and because that's not what it is. It's the takeaway of her response was, I can't believe he has to deal with people and try to defend himself to people. And I was like, there's no way she's talking about what I think she's talking about is there. And the whole post was about how she believes that he shouldn't have to answer questions at press conferences because it's wasting time, that he's just trying to defend himself on all the things he's trying to do to save America. And that's what's wasting our time. And that's why things aren't working out, is because he has to defend himself because the Democrats keep asking questions. And I was just like, oh my God, like there's no way that you really think that, right? Like you literally think that the people that are questioning what's happening because the state that we're living is the reason that we're in the state that we live in, and that he's trying everything he can do to save everybody, and that the people asking the questions are the problem.
Yeah, it's really scary to me that there's still some percentage of approval rating for this man. Like, I think it's still in the 40s. And, like, the fact that 40% of America actually approves of this fucking bumbling idiot that's killing people is just...
Well, and to say that you shouldn't have to answer questions at a press conference. Isn't that what a fucking press conference is?
I mean, she's probably one of the same people that said there shouldn't be witnesses at a fucking trial either. So,
oh my God. I was just like, what do you mean don't answer questions at a press conference? That's why you held a press conference.
I mean, there's a reason why there wasn't press conferences for most of his fucking presidency, because the man
he didn't want to answer questions.
Exactly.
You can do a State of the Union if you want to. That's different. Like, I don't necessarily agree with doing those as opposed to press conferences, but you shouldn't have to answer any questions.
Yeah.
Get out there, say what it is, and walk off stage.
I mean, basically, he can't do his rallies anymore. That's the only thing that's kept this president somewhat grounded. He plays golf when he does his rallies. He hasn't been able to do either of those for almost 2 months now. He's probably losing his fucking mind.
He probably still plays golf.
I think he went recently, actually.
Yeah.
When I got out Easter, not to go anywhere, but to go get my daughter and come back home. That's the only place I've gone for 3 weeks now, is just that quick drive to grab her and then come back home. But while I was driving, one thing I've noticed during the stay-at-home order is that traffic is a lot worse when people aren't supposed to be on the roads. And
for me, they're way better.
God, yeah, I guess that makes sense there. But like here, everyone's just like, let's go driving. I guess I don't fucking know. Every time I pass a grocery store or any place that's still open, it is packed. It is packed like I've never seen before. Like not like a Black Friday, not whenever it's
the opposite here in DC, but it's because we're normally packed all the time.
Yeah, I've never.
People aren't coming into the city anymore. Like most people work out of the city, so they're not coming into the city because they're not going
Right.
So it's actually like way emptier here.
Huh.
It's just like holidays here. Holidays are empty around DC, whereas I'm used to growing up in a place where traffic was always crazy going up north in Michigan for holidays. That's where people escape to for the vacations.
Right.
You know.
But not only did I all of that, it was Easter Sunday, I saw 3 different family gatherings, something. I don't know, 3 different houses, yard full of fucking kids, grill going, probably 11 cars in the driveway. And it was just like, I wanted to just fucking pull over and start yelling at people. Like, just makes me so mad. Just...
Yeah, I'm with you. And no, I did not go to Ohio.
Like, my first thought was there just to pull over in my car and start coughing on these kids.
And then you'd be in that video, and then that kid would die. And
yeah, I had gout so bad the other day that it gave me a fever, and that's never happened before. And I was convinced I was dead.
Well, convinced you have corona and convinced you're dead are should be 2 different things.
Yeah, no, I was exaggerating. I mean, I didn't actually think I had corona because I didn't have any of the other symptoms, but it did worry me because, like, I was like, man, I haven't left my house in a very long time. But I did go to Costco exactly 16 days ago, so I don't think a cold could live in me for 16 days, but corona sure as fuck could. Oh. They could be giving me a fever right now.
You know, I did have somebody in my comment telling us how misinformed we were because of how wrong we were.
Oh my God, there was this one guy in our comments saying that the only way you can get coronavirus is if you spend over 50 minutes with direct exposure from someone that has the virus.
I think this might be the same.
That guy's a fucking idiot.
Well, I wouldn't say that. I wanted to start a nice little discussion.
I'm just going right there with it. I'm already mad.
I'm trying to find it because I responded back with a lot of statistics and said, "Hey, I'd like to let's continue debating this. If you think I'm wrong, I'd like to know where I'm wrong. Here are the statistics that I understand." But that was like something about 50-minute exposure was also talked about in this, so I'm assuming it's the same guy. But he never responded back to my
shocking.
My well thought out post. I'm trying to remember which video it was in. It's so hard to freaking find now in this new system of fucking.
Yeah, you're the only one stuck there. I mean, maybe not the only one, but other people have been commenting too that they're not stuck there either. So.
Well, I'm not stuck there anymore with that secret link.
Oh, that's right. I forgot I gave you that link and it worked. That's weird.
I need to bookmark it though, because I don't remember that link. Yeah, but it's
Well, yeah, that's how I feel about it. I mean, you can continue your civil discourse. I've given up on that.
It was. I will admit it was very bad because what I really hate is when you get somebody, and I'm okay with a good civil debate about something if people like want to go back and forth on something, but when you're trying to tell me/us how misinformed we are while giving statistics that I've never seen ever before and not saying where they came from or what organization, like all it shows to me is that you're making stuff up too, or you believe the first thing that you see. Like it doesn't give you any credibility to just tell me I'm wrong and throw something out there that is not common.
Right. And we get a lot of stuff wrong here. I mean, I don't know.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. never said we did. So that's why I was trying to talk to this guy. Say, hey, I would see your research. Where are you coming from with this stuff?
Yeah,
this is the information that I have, and this is where I get my things from.
This guy also made it into the Mindcrack podcast as well, so
okay.
He's heard from me if he listens to that as well. So, anyways, we've gone over. We got to get out of here. But thank you all for watching.
And we'll see you next time.